Far from reality pa raw ang pangarap ng Pilipinas na maging middle-class country by 2040. Pero sabi ng World Bank, may magagawa pa naman ang gobyerno para ma-achieve ito. Yan ang agenda report ni Su Jin Kim.
Nakabinbin ang pangarap ng Pilipinas na maging middle-class, poverty-free society pagdating ng 2040. Sa bagong ulat ng World Bank, malinaw ang babala. Kung hindi kikilos ngayon, may iwan ang Pilipinas dahil sa mabagal na paglago, mababang sahod at trabahong low quality.
Middle-class society by 2040, national ambition. It's not a utopia. It is something that is achievable if there is a commitment, both from the public sector to double down on reforms, from the private sector to innovate and compete.
Sa huling 15 taon, dumoble ang laki ng ekonomiya. Pero ayon sa World Bank, hindi ito nasabayan ng productivity. Maraming trabaho ang nalikha sa mga sektor na hindi exposed sa global market, tulad ng construction at local services na kadalasan ay informal, mababa ang sahod at walang oportunidad na mag-scale.
3 out of 4 of those, 75% of those, were in non-tradable sectors. And non-tradable sectors are sectors that are not exposed to international trade, international competition. They don't export or they don't compete with imports. We can think the typical textbook example of non-tradables is hairdressers, but we can think about domestic services, we can think about construction. Those were the sectors that created more jobs.
Sa kabila nito, lumiliit ang mga industriyang may potensyal na magpaangat ng productivity at kita, tulad ng manufacturing at exports.
The tradable sector suffered. Another way of looking at the suffering of the tradable sector is by looking at what happened with the number of exporting firms in manufacturing. In the past decade, the number of exporting firms in manufacturing declined by 23%.
Mahina rin ang ugnayan ng agrikultura, industriya at serbisyo sa global value chains. At kahit 63% ng workforce ay nasa micro at small firms, maliit ang kanilang ambag sa kabuang produksyon. Hindi rin lumalaki ang mga top-performing firms dahil kulang ang kompetisyon.
Limited competition. And limited competition does not create incentives for top firms to scale up and innovate.
At para naman sa mga gustong magnegosyo, napakaraming hadlang, kaya panawagan ng World Bank, i-streamline pa ang mga process.
It takes 106 days to register a foreign firm in the Philippines. It takes 15 days in Singapore. If you don't reduce that, if you don't reduce the number of days it takes, the processes, the complexity of the processes to register firms, you are erecting unnecessary entry barriers, making investment more costly.
You need 373 government interactions if you want to set up a solar farm. It's a huge barrier to entry. And I'm speaking mostly from the regulatory point of view because that's my experience. But if you even once you get in, let's say you set up your facility and you're running and you've hired people, just the day-to-day interaction with regulators can sometimes be confounding.
Ayon kay Varela, kung maisa sa katuparan ang mga reforma, maaring umakyat ang GDP ng hanggang 6.8% o katumbas ng dagdag na 1.4 percentage points at maaari pang ma-achieve ang high income status by 2050. Ngunit babala ng private sector, hindi pwede na para sa mayayaman lang ang paglago.
It has to be growth that benefits not just the top but also the middle segments of our country, and that's a challenge because that's going to take reforms. And I don't know, and I do hope that we have the political will as a country to achieve those reforms. Because if we want to be a wealthy country, and we can be, we really need to grow the middle class. And we haven't seen that in any sustained way, at least not in the last several decades.
Ang malinaw, ang poverty-free 2040 at high-income 2050 ay mahirap maabot kung hindi aayusin ang lagay ng trade, investment at employment sa Pilipinas ngayon na. Para sa agenda, Su Jin Kim, Billionaire News Channel.